Hey, welcome to the Abundance Art. I'm Hema, your host, and here we have our guest, Mr. Karthik Lakshmanan. He is a counseling psychologist and a psycho-oncologist, and with 12 years of experience in his industry. And he has worked as a senior counselor in IIT Madras since October 2018 till November 2022. And he provides all kinds of services from counseling till coaching students for their diploma in counseling services, both a diploma and advanced diploma. Welcome, sir. And to tell more about it, he has been my mentor as well. From his classes is where I started my counseling journey, and he is such a humble person. And I'm so glad to connect with him after so long and gain his expertise about beliefs. Sir specializes in rational and irrational beliefs and how our script is working and driving us to drive our life. So, I have invited Sir to talk about more of beliefs because a lot of us in our manifestation journey, why we're not able to manifest is because we are stuck in few beliefs about ourselves, life, and things around us that we're not able to take desired actions, and that stops our process and blocks our energy. So, to make us more aware about how these beliefs work deeply and how is it controlling your brain and why you should change them, how to change them, no, we will be speaking it on the session today. So, welcome, sir, and the stage is on to you. You can please, put some light on what is this irrational and rational beliefs and how does it affect us in driving our life? Why do you need to correct them?
Right, ma'am. Right. So usually people talk about positive and negative thoughts. As a psychologist, we don't get into that because what is positive, what is negative, it is based on the subjective perception. So we talk about rational, irrational, adaptive, maladaptive, functional, dysfunctional, like that. So people have a lot of positive thoughts, but sometimes they are irrational and it leads to problems. We believe through rational emotive cognitive behavior therapy that why people get into problems because they have some irrational beliefs. Okay, so irrational belief can be about oneself, can be about others, can be about their future or world. It can be about anything. Okay, so we have some criteria to find out whether the belief is rational or irrational. We will see whether there is any evidence for the thought or belief. Okay, if I say that I'm not good enough or something, so we'll ask this question: Are you 100 percentage saying that you are not good enough? Then people will say no, it is 50 percentage. So when something is not 100 percentage true, then we may call it as irrational. Okay. Number two, sometimes it will be 100% true, but it won't help us to problem solve. If it doesn't help us to problem solve, that also we call it as irrational. So, for example, if someone says that I am dark in complexion, yes, I am dark in complexion. If you ask me, is it 100% true? Yes, it is 100% true. But by believing that, is it helping me to problem solve? Sometimes, in marriage alliances, people will look into that as a problem. So when they see that as a problem, then it is not problem solving. Then again, we will say it is irrational. Okay, so sometimes it will be 100% true, but it is not completely under our control. See, being fair in complexion or dark in complexion, is it completely under your control? Obviously not. It is sometimes genetic, it is environmental. There are various factors. So when things are not completely under your control, if you are going to think about it, because it's not at all under your control, we will call it as irrational. If you are going to think about things which are not under your control, then it means you are wasting your time and energy to think about it. So it will be irrational. And then a lot of people use the words like should, must, need to, ought to, have to motivate themselves. Yeah, sometimes it will be motivating. If you are able to do that, then great. For example, I should exercise on a daily basis, and people believe this way, great. It is helping them if they are able to do on a daily basis due to some reason or other. Okay, for example, IPL gets over only at 12 o'clock midnight, and then people watch it, and then they discuss about it for some time, and then they go to sleep. They are not able to get up early in the morning. Because of that, they are not able to do the exercise on the day. Then they feel very guilty. Okay, so
Mm.
that takes away their mood for the whole day sometimes. So we say that if you are going to put yourself a rule, if it is not possible, it will lead you to a lot of distress. So instead of the words like should, must, need to, ought to, have to, and all, we tell our clients to use words like prefer to, want to, wish to. That way, they'll convert their irrational thoughts or beliefs to rational. Okay, so many a times we have irrational thoughts. People are capable of being both rational and irrational. However, in our culture, in a lot of other places, we are trained to be positive, and sometimes it is irrational.
Yes, yes. So, sir, you mentioned here about guilt, right? So, what are the emotions that are good and bad? Sometimes, no, we have been again judging emotions. This emotion is good, this emotion is bad. Can you just talk something about?
Yes, ma'am. We don't believe emotions are, certain emotions are good or positive, certain emotions are good or, negative or bad. It's not like that. It is based on the context. See, for example, if you take, generally, people say happiness is a good emotion. People celebrate Deepavali or they celebrate New Year with a lot of noise. But it creates issues for the people in the hospital, for small children, and for pets during Diwali, it is very difficult for them. So if you look at them, it is the negative emotion. Okay, so for the people who are admitted in hospital, okay, so if you say anger is a negative emotion, Gandhiji, Netaji, and all had anger. How can you come and rule our country? And that helped us to get freedom. So
Yes.
you cannot say anger is a negative emotion. So what we say is, whether it is adaptive, maladaptive. Let us look into that.
Okay.
Okay, so we won't use the word rational emotion or irrational emotion. So emotions are not going to have that prefix, usually adaptive, maladaptive. So if that anger is helping you to problem solve, it
Okay.
is helping you to improve your mental health, it is helping many other people, then we may call it as adaptive.
Okay.
Okay, if it is not helping, it is creating problems, then it can be maladaptive. So at the
Okay.
same time, the same emotion can be adaptive and maladaptive to the individual and to others. So it is highly contextual. So we don't categorize emotions as good, bad, positive, negative.
Okay. So, one thing is that we need to think whether we have 100% evidence of the thought that we are going through. So, and if not, then we need to work upon it. So, it is irrational, is what Sir mentioned. And even if sometimes you think there is evidence, like you said about the color, then whether it is helping you problem solve is the next question. So, unless it is not helping you problem solve, there is no point in carrying it forward, right? And we cannot judge any of the emotions. It is like adaptive or maladaptive depending on the context, and only if adaptive then it is helpful, otherwise it is not. So very good example you have given about anger as well, so which people are struggling to work upon. So now when it comes to developing us personally, so when we want to develop ourselves personally, what kind of filters we can have, so that we are not getting into this we not get into the rut of, see again, we learn something, when it comes to applying in our real life we again get back to the same negative habit or the negative thought, because we have been programmed like that. So any suggestions you will give that no that point of time to pivot yourself to back to what we have learned in the situation on the moment?
Okay. In the situation or on the moment, there will be a lot of emotions and it will be overwhelming. So it's not possible to apply techniques that time. So what I train my clients, I train them to take some time on a daily basis, and I help them to train their brain to think rationally. So if someone is getting into anxiety or sadness or some emotion, that time these four questions which I told, is it 100% true, is it helping you to problem solve, is it completely under my control, is there a rule like that, these four questions they won't be able to remember, because they are emotionally overwhelming that time. So what we do is we ask them to take some 15-20 minutes on a daily basis, and write down some thoughts, whatever comes during that time. It doesn't have to be related to the problem that they have talked with, it can be anything.
Okay.
Okay, so for example, if you take this talk, we have a plan, and sometimes when I have this idea that tomorrow I'm going to do this session with Hema ma'am, and it should go well. If I have this thought, when I say that it should go well, let me ask this question: is it completely under my control? Is there any rule like that? Okay,
Okay.
so it is not completely under my control. You are one person and I am another person, and the software that we are using. So sometimes we both will be contributing a lot, but the software may not work. So we will have alternatives. Okay, if it is not Zoom, then Google Meet. If it is not Google Meet, then Teams. If it is not Teams, then Skype. So if we have some alternative options ready, then it will be more rational. So similarly, I ask my clients on a daily basis to think about the various things and examine whether the thoughts are rational or irrational. If
Okay.
they keep on training their brain like that, then
Okay.
after 1 or 2 weeks, when they are into the overwhelming situation, their brain is already trained. So automatically there will be rational thoughts coming. And the brain itself will say that, see, this is not under your control. This is not 100% true. This is only 50% true. It is not helping you to problem solve. Why are you putting a rule to yourself? Let us be flexible. Okay, so
Okay.
it's just like driving or swimming. If someone is going to push you into water and then give you a book to learn this swimming, you cannot swim and come out. If you have
Yes.
already gone for 20-30 days of training, when someone
Mm.
pushes you, it will be difficult for you, but your brain is already trained to swim, so automatically your hands and legs will in it, and then you will swim and then come out. Then only you will understand that oh, these things have happened. So
Okay.
training the brain to think rationally is important. As you rightly told, we have been trained to think irrationally. Okay,
Yes.
so due to various factors, so we will train the brain again to think rationally.
Okay. So we need to explore alternative options, is what you're trying to say. And can
Yeah,
journaling,
alternative options.
so journaling can help, writing down those emotions can help in exploring that, right?
Yeah,
So,
so rational emotive behavior therapy talks about working on the thoughts. So we usually ask them to write the beliefs or thoughts they have. I am, so and so, or other people are so and so. So something like that. Whatever comes to their mind, they will write. So emotions, we believe that whenever you have irrational beliefs, you will have unhelpful or maladaptive emotion. When you
okay.
have rational beliefs, it will be helpful emotion. So we don't focus on emotions in this technique. We focus on
Hmm.
only thoughts. So
Only
journaling will be
thoughts.
related to only thoughts.
Okay, okay. So, if a person has to find out whether he is thinking rationally or irrationally, so how do I evaluate? Is it through emotions? Because, but you said emotions, we are not working on emotions, we're working on thoughts. So, how do I find whether I am thinking rationally or irrationally at current moment?
Yeah. So usually people are able to say the emotions they undergo. Okay. So they are
Hmm.
not able to come up with a thought. So we ask this
Hmm.
question: when you
Okay.
feel sad, what is the thought that is going inside your head? Okay. So
Okay.
usually it is not possible to get a feeling without a thought. If I ask you to feel happy, you will ask about what?
Yes.
Okay, so
Yeah.
generally there will be a thought, but it is not spontaneous for people to say. So usually they'll say about the emotion. So we'll ask this question: what is the feeling that you undergo? Sorry, what is the thought that you get inside your head when you are angry or sad? Then they'll tell some thought. Okay,
Okay.
then we'll ask these four questions. So if something is 100% true, then it will be rational. If
Hmm.
something is helping them to problem solve, then it will be rational. If something whatever the thought they say, if the expectation is completely under their control, then it
Hmm.
is rational. If there are words like should, must, need to, ought to, have to, and all, we call it as irrational. So we want words like prefer to, want to, wish to, that will be rational. So most of the time all the four criteria will not be met. One will be met, two will be met. We want all the four criteria to be met, then we will call it as rational. Okay, so
Okay.
most of the time when clients come to us with problems, they'll have some irrational thoughts. Sometimes it
Hmm.
is not 100% true, sometimes it is not problem solving, sometimes it has got words like should, must, need to, ought to.
Hmm.
Sometimes it is not completely under their control. So clients say that my husband has to change. Your
Okay.
husband changing or not, is it completely under your control? Sometimes it may feel like oh, you have to change. No, we are simply trying to say that certain things are not under your control, certain things are under your control. So whatever is under your control, if you work on it, then you can improve your mental health. When something is not under your control, you can't do much about it, so it will lead to further problems. So you can have some alternatives to deal with it. So if the husband does not change, Then what is the option A, option B, option C? Let them think about it, and then they can come up with some answers. So
Okay.
if they ask these questions on a daily basis for 15-20 minutes, then they'll become more rational. And sometimes it can affect the beliefs that we have been having for a longer period of time. Okay, so that is a side effect of rational emotive behavior therapy. For every therapy, there will be some side effect. If the effect is more than side effect, we'll go for it. So for certain people, this will work. For certain people, this may be very difficult or confrontational. Then we use other approaches.
Okay, so when you say there will be side effects, no, on changing of the beliefs, don't you think it is good for them because you are now rationally thinking, and that is making them change the belief. So when they change the belief, it will become a natural way of dealing with the life, new way of dealing with the life. So why do you call it a side effect? Isn't it a good effect?
Yeah, it is side effect from the client's perspective.
Okay.
Okay, so for me, yes, this is really good. It will help people. But for them, initially, it is a new thing. Okay, so
Okay.
sometimes when they get into this kind of exercise of finding out whether their beliefs are rational or irrational, they'll find out most of their beliefs are irrational. Then it will give them a kind of churning feeling that, hey, I have been irrational for a longer period of time. What
Oh,
the life I have lived. So that may be the side effect from their end. And then if they are coming back to me, I'll empathize with them. I'll tell them that yeah, this is a new kind of theory for you, and it will take some time. And
okay.
since you did not know about this before, you were thinking in that manner, and it was probably helping that time. Right now, it is not helping. So you have come to me,
Mhm.
and I'm helping you with these techniques, which are proven to be effective in a lot of meta-analysis in scientific psychology. So we'll
Okay.
go slowly, and it is okay. So if you are able to change most of your beliefs to rational, maybe 51 percentage out of 100, then that may be enough. I want you to lead a better life from now on.
So we just need to empathize with them to not get into the guilt of so long being living like this. Okay.
Yeah, yeah,
So here, sir, you mentioned one word that uh, till now the script was helping you. Till now, this
yeah.
belief was helping you, right? So say, from childhood itself, if we are picking a belief, it is to survive at that moment of time. We pick up a belief, and then later on, it becomes permanent, and that is what becomes our behavior or whatever. So, can you talk about how does that script get created? What is that script? A lot of us have heard about inner child healing, our own script, change your money script, change your relationship script. Can you talk about what is that script people talk about?
Okay, okay. So from transaction analysis, which is
Okay.
a school of thought or approach in psychology and counseling, that talks about life script.
Hmm.
Okay, so according to transaction analysis, we decide our own destiny
Okay.
based on whatever we have observed during our childhood or whatever has happened in our childhood. We think that my life is going to be like this.
Hmm.
Okay, for example, I am meeting clients who come and say that I do not want to get married. Okay,
Hmm.
why, boss? My parents have not been happy by getting married. I think marriage is a trap. So that's
Hmm.
what they have observed during their childhood, and they believe that to be very, very true. And
Okay.
whenever people are getting married and they are happy, this person might say that I think they are all acting. Okay, so
Okay.
this will happen only in the movies. Okay,
Okay.
so when there are people getting into some quarrels or problems, then he says, "See, I told you, marriage is a trap, and this is what happening to you." Okay,
Okay.
so one thing is whatever they have observed, they are thinking that that will happen to them, and
Hmm.
sometimes they'll make it happen. So if there is
Okay.
some problem in the new relationship,
Hmm.
since they have the belief that marriage is a trap, relationship is a problematic one, if there is a small problem, they will make it as a bigger thing, and then they'll say that, see, relationship is not working. The
Hmm.
other way of script is, my parents' life has not been good, their
Hmm.
marital life, but I will, have a good marital life and show them that, see, this way you can live.
Hmm.
Okay, so it doesn't have to be exactly whatever you have observed. You can do the opposite of that also. So
Hmm.
Eric Berne, the founder of transaction analysis, used to tell a story or case study that
Hmm.
a mother had a monozygotic twins. They have the same genes, and the mother used to scolded them, saying that you will end up in a mental asylum. So right now we should not use that word. Rehab center. Okay.
Mm.
Yeah, both of them ended up in a rehab center, and one ended up as a psychiatrist, another ended up as a patient. So
Oh.
this way we say that you have your choice how to go. So you may probably tell that this is my destiny, but how to go, how your life is going to be, it is in your hand, and you
Mm.
can redecide your destiny. So when you have the awareness that certain things are coming from my past, certain things I have observed. So whatever you have observed doesn't have to happen to you. Okay,
Okay.
whatever has happened during your past, in your childhood, it may continue or it may not continue, we do not know. So we say that every situation is new and history doesn't repeat.
Mm.
Okay, so my undergraduation was religion, philosophy and sociology. My philosophy professor used to say, you cannot touch a flowing river twice.
Okay.
Okay,
How
so
is that? Can
when,
you just
when the
explain that, sir?
river is flowing,
Mm.
when you touch for the first time, it is one river, and when you go and touch for the second time, it is some other river. It is not the same
Okay.
river. It may look
Okay.
like the same.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so every situation is new. Just because your parents' marital life did not work well, if you think that your marital life will not work well, we do not know whether the same thing will happen, because it is, they had the marital life, and because of certain things in between them, there have been problems or there have been happiness. So it
Mm.
is dependent on you and the other person who is coming into relationship. Okay,
Okay.
just because it did not work in the past for you, we do not know whether the same thing will happen right now. Okay, so something else may happen. So life is actually, you cannot script it. So whatever happens, you'll be seeing that here and now, and then you will take a kind of pattern.
Mm.
So
Okay.
what people do is, based on their life in the past, they create a pattern, and then they expect the same thing to happen again and again, because they believe that life is like this. Okay, so people say life is a cycle. Okay, so now when you are down, you are thinking that one day or other I will come up. But when you are up, you believe that, oh, when I am going to go down. Okay, so
Mm.
people are not
Fear.
able to be happy.
Mm. Yes.
So they decide their destiny, and then they make it happen. So when they are anxious about going down, they are not enjoying the present life. If they make some mistakes, they'll exaggerate that, and then they'll say that, see, my life is going down, and then I have to again work hard to go up. But for some people, it is always up. For some people, it is always down. It is also their script. So they believe that I'll always be up. But if there is a blow that makes them to come down, then they won't be able to deal with it.
Got
Okay.
it.
So let us see every day, here and now, and then bring ourselves to the current situation, and let us think rational, and let us see whether it is okay right now or not, and then we'll decide whether to go ahead or not. But what happens, because of the script, whatever is happening here and now, we miss it out, and then we interpret whatever is happening right now with the past experience or with someone else's experience, like our parental figures. Then we
Mm.
misinterpret, and then we say that this is not going to work out, this is the problem. Okay, so we are not very rational in that manner.
Okay. Okay. So when you have seen a script, generally you tend to interpret always whatever happens now. Now you are interpreting it with the past, and you are not
Yeah,
ready to accept the here and now. So as you said, if
correct.
you are able to be in here and now, be rational, then act accordingly. Then this can be solved through TA, right?
Yes,
So,
right.
sir, you had mentioned in this statements, right? Now we are talking about the rational thoughts and we're talking about the script as well. So, in your experience, you have more than 13 years of experience. Can you mention at least 3 or 5 kind of statements or scripts that people think about in major aspects, like about money? What I mean, as per your experience with meeting so many clients and seeing life from perspective of a psychologist, I want to know at least 3 to 5 statements that you have seen people scripting about money.
Okay, so I'm not good enough, I'm a failure. Okay, so then I'm not worthy enough. Even I'm not lovable will come under things related to money. When you believe that I'm not lovable, you don't enjoy the money that you get. You keep it away. So I think these three I have seen in
Behavior.
many clients. I'm not good enough, I'm a failure, I'm unlovable. So similarly, there are rational beliefs like I'm lovable to the extent of 50-60% by my family.
Okay.
I'm lovable to the level of 40% by my colleagues. Okay, so it's not possible to have 100% love from anybody because it is not under your control. So they are altogether different human beings. Their central nervous system works in a different way. So that is not under your control. They may love you, they may not love you. So there is no rule that they should love you. Okay, so the statements will be like, I prefer them love me. I want them to love me. If they don't love me, then it will be difficult for me. So we want people to have such rational beliefs. Then they'll be able to do well in their life, and then they may be able to enjoy with the money that they have, or they will work for more money and make their life better.
Great. So, and some beliefs about health, script and beliefs about health, which keeps on affecting the health. Because even after taking lot of medicines, treatments, people don't tend to actually recover. And I strongly believe it is something to do with their thoughts. They fear recovering or they fear being healthy due to something. So, can you just tell some statements or scripts that you have heard from clients?
Right. So when you talk about this, I'm able to think about an approach in counseling. We call it as choice therapy, where
Okay.
it says when people get into diseases, disorders, there
Mm.
are certain needs that will be easily met. For example, if I am very ill, then my physiological needs will be easily met. I don't have to go out and work hard and all. Okay,
Mm.
so my safety security need will be met. Someone will be there to take care of me. We are in a collectivistic society, and my
Mm.
love and belongingness needs will be met. When I am ill, people will give me some more love and affection.
Mm.
Okay, so like that, sometimes people who are into diseases, they are able to fulfill their needs very easily. If they are
Mm.
healthy, then they have to toil on their own. They have to find their own security. They have to go talk to people to get the love and affection. Okay, so there are some secondary advantages of being ill, and this is sometimes unconscious. People do not want to be ill, but when we were children, when we were ill, many needs were met, and people unconsciously learn it, and then they start to becoming ill, and then they continue to be ill. Okay, so because of this, they, when they are becoming better, their needs are not that much met. Then people say that, you are fine now, you go ahead, do these things, do those things. Then there's a lot of anxiety coming in, and they do not want to continue being healthy. And there are other reasons like anxiety, depression, if they have due to their beliefs like this, I should not be a burden to others. No,
Okay.
there is no rule that you should not be a burden. It is not a punishable offense in India or any other country. Okay, so you
Mm.
were trying to take care of your family members at some point in time. They are trying to take care of you if possible.
Mm.
So when people believe that I should not be a burden to others, they do not want to live their life happily, or they do
Mm.
not take precautions when there are some small issues. Okay, so they'll say that if I am going to tell about my illness to someone, then they will take me to hospital, and it will be unnecessary for them. So they'll keep on ignoring, and then when it becomes a big problem, they will fall ill, and then they'll be bedridden, and then whatever they do not want to happen, that will probably
That will
happening.
be.
Okay,
Mm.
so
Mm.
when people believe that I should not be a burden to others, the side effect is they do not give importance for their health whenever it has to be given. Then it becomes a big problem. Okay, so I want people to give importance to health, both physical and psychological health. Whenever there are some small problems, go to meet a general physician or counselor. You don't have to meet the cardiologist or a specialist for it. So let the general physician say whether it is a small problem or bigger problem, and according to that, if you take action, then we don't have to become very very ill and be bedridden. So similarly, psychological issues. So you don't
Yes.
have to go to psychiatrist or go to big hospitals. You can consult over a counselor online. Now with these online
Mm.
things, it has become easy. Check
Mm.
whether things are okay, and if you want to continue, you may continue. If you do not want to continue, you can leave it. So just let us be cautious about our health. Then these problems won't come.
Okay. Yes. Yes. So always reaching to an expert is one better. And a few about relationships, because now it has become very eminent relationships. There are a lot of problems in relationships. Multiple breakups. People having multiple breakups. They don't understand why I get into a relationship. See, when I'm getting into a relationship, I go with a good intention only. I never go with the intention to break up. But why is that? I have had 5, 6 relationships, and why every time I'm being rejected? It has a big impact on my self-esteem. So a lot of
Yeah.
people come like this. And other categories, like after the breakup, almost over 3, 4, 5 years, they're not able to get out of it. So
Yes.
they are choosing to be in it, or what is the script that you think that will be going in their mind? Other thing is that everywhere I go, I judge people. I'm so opinionated. I'm not able to see them as they are. So these few problems I see in relationships. Can you tell some statements that you have heard from clients, scripts that they are holding on?
Okay, so one thing is when people come up with issues like this, we don't jump into the script or working on the thoughts because it will be very rude to them. Okay, so they're undergoing grief or depression. So we'll first empathize with them, and there are some techniques to help them to express their emotions. And when they are feeling a little bit better in terms of emotions, then we'll get into the script or the belief pattern. So the belief pattern may be initially they would have seen, I'm not lovable or I am lovable to some extent and all. When they keep on getting rejected due to various reasons, they'll start believing that I'm unlovable. And
Hmm.
whenever some people come and approach them, then they will say that this is not going to work, or they will reluctantly get into the relationship and they may not contribute well for the relationship. That may be disappointing to the other person. There is no reciprocation from this person's side for the other person's involvement. Then there may be some problems and it may lead to breakup. So we help them to work on their thoughts. I'm unlovable, or I'm not good enough in a relationship, I'm a failure in relationship, I don't know how to talk to boys or girls. So there are a lot of beliefs like this. Okay, so I'm introvert, I'm shy. There is no rule that you should not be an introvert. You can be an introvert and still you can become a good person with relationship.
Hmm.
So we'll look into various thoughts that they have related to a relationship, and then we will check whether it is rational or irrational, and we'll help them to make it rational. Usually, rational thoughts are very long. Okay, so it will have some, however, what can be done, let me see. So there'll be some alternative way of thinking. Whereas irrational thoughts, it will be very sharp. I'm not
Very
good enough.
easy.
Nothing
Yeah.
else it is added. So
Hmm.
it may be difficult for people to initially pick up rational thoughts, and we slowly help them. As I told before, they may come to me, and then I can slowly help them to improve their rational thinking, or they can do homework at their house
Hmm.
and improve themselves.
That's great, sir. And what about the judgmental mindset that we have? I don't want to judge, but still, when I see people, automatically the opinions come. So, do you think it has to be done with the training or some scripting which I have?
Yeah, based on our past experiences, we look into people and then we come to a judgment. I'm not saying it is always wrong, but it may go wrong. And in cognitive behavior therapy, we have some cognitive errors or distortions, saying mind reading or emotional reasoning. So people believe that whatever their emotions say would be right. So they used to say that I feel this to be true, therefore it is true. Okay.
Oh.
So rationally speaking, if you feel that way, look for some logics or for some evidence. Then also, if you get the idea that it is true, then fine. So sometimes they'll say that I'm not getting a good vibration here. Okay, so that is your feeling. We understand and we respect it. So is there some reason behind it? Can you find out? Initially, if you are not able to find out, fine. But keep on observing and then see whether there is any thing that is not okay with you. Maybe the environment is not clean, so I'm not able to go ahead with that place. Okay, or that person seems to talk to me a little bit rude, so that is
Hmm.
not working. So come up with some logic, then it will be okay. Okay, so
Okay.
otherwise, the other one is mind reading or jumping to conclusion. When the other person is talking, we think that, oh, this is what you are going to say, right? So based on our past experience with people, we believe that this is what people are going to say. They may end up saying the same thing, or they may end up saying something else. Let us wait for them to, end their conversation. Then we can interpret. So I want people to listen and then, see what they are exactly saying, and then come to a conclusion. So I think these are the two cognitive errors people have. One is emotional reasoning, other is jumping to conclusion.
Okay.
That makes them opinionated, and they are not able to move ahead with people. Yeah, people are neither good nor bad. We do not know whether they are telling the truth or not. So do not look into the things only once. You
Hmm.
cannot come to a conclusion just by looking at things once. So keep on going and then gather some more data. Then analyze all that and then come to some evidence. That's what we say in research. We say that we don't need only one or two data. We need multiple data to find out which is really true. So for example, if you take COVID medicine, we haven't come up with one medicine for COVID. Okay, and whatever medicines we have, they are trying to use it, and then it says that 70% it is working, 30% it is working, 40% it is working, at least 99% it should work, then only we will call it as a medicine for COVID. So similarly, I want people to look into the data and then see whether whatever they are thinking is really true, at least to the level of 90 or 95%. If it is not 100%, then they'll not be opinionated, they'll be non-judgmental, and they'll start enjoying their life. And there are some people who are half good, half bad. Then whatever is good with them, you can deal with them. Remaining things, you can set some boundaries, and you don't have to interact with them to that extent.
Yeah, so that's great. So, sir, when you're talking about this emotional reasoning and yes, so very well said, sir. About always delaying, your response and trying to find evidence every time that thought comes to your mind. So that slowly you tend to evaluate whether it is right or wrong. So I mean, it's helping or not. So yes, sir. When we say good, bad, right, wrong, a lot of us have been trained to see things like from childhood. Even say my son does something, I say good boy or bad boy, and he tries to make all attempt to listen the word good boy. That is how we have grown up. We want to be in the good that books, right? So this has become toxic sometimes, and to be in that, we tend not to be authentic with ourselves, and we are hiding so many emotions which become later on maladaptive. Can you throw some light on this binary way of thinking, good and bad, right and wrong, black and white? Which this is the reason for judgment also in our relationship with being a husband. How can you do like this? But what is necessarily a husband should be like that? He's a normal man like me. Same with the females also and children also. Can you throw some light about this black and white and this binary way of thinking?
Right. So exactly whatever you say, it is there as a cognitive error in cognitive behavior therapy. Black and white thinking, or we say polarized thinking. Okay. People believe that I should be a doctor, otherwise a dead body. I should get married to this person, otherwise I'll never be married. I should get the first rank, otherwise I should not be studying. Okay, I think this is coming from the value system or whatever is given in our scriptures like Tirukkural. Okay, so தோன்றின் புகழோடு தோன்றுக அஃதிலார் தோன்றலின் தோன்றாமை நன்று, something like that. It says that if you are born, you should be born to be having to have the fame. If you don't have the fame, then it is better you are not born at all. See, I am not choosing to be born. That is happening. Okay, so I would like to become a person with fame, or it is my choice to live my life without fame also. Okay, so people condition us by saying that there are only two things: either become a doctor, otherwise you are not good enough. Okay, so I want people to be flexible. I want people to have choices. Black and white thinking is the other term we say. There are a lot of colors in between black and white. Okay, so there are shades of gray, and let us have some options. Okay, so I want to become a doctor. If I'm able to get good marks in NEET examination, great. If not, let me write the examination next year, or let me join some other course like BHMS or homeopathy or Ayurveda, or let me get into psychology or nursing and then do PhD to get the doctorate. Okay, so there are multiple ways to live your life.
The need to serve the people is fulfilled. Even being a doctor, what do they want to fulfill? Same can be fulfilled in alternate ways.
Yeah. Okay. So I want people to be flexible, because it is not under your control. You want to become a doctor and you are studying well for the NEET examination, but others will also study. Okay. So if they don't study well, probably you will get more marks. So it is not completely under your control. So similarly in relationship, I should get married to this person. Yeah, so you want to get married, other person should also believe the same way. And in India, marriage is not between two individuals, it is between two families. Even if these two individuals decide to get married, there are various other factors that will come and stop us. So what will be the rational belief? I would like to get married to him or her. If not, option A, option B, option C. If you say that what is this, you are not having the motivation, you are not really thinking I should get into this. See, sometimes it may be helping you and it will help you to strive hard. But when you keep on striving hard, when things are not under your control, it will make you frustrated. Okay, so we are saying that option number one is getting married to him or her. Okay, but option number two or three, let us have, in case something else happen, we will have some strategies to deal with it. So most of the time people do not think about it, they keep on thinking positive, and when something else happens, it is becoming a shock to them, and then they are very impulsive, and they think that my life is over and nothing is going to become better. Even if there are certain ways to become make their lives better, they are not looking into it.
Yes,
Right.
yes.
So
So
I
might
want people to
be
be flexible in everything.
great, great. So might be little allowing things to happen. Might be you focus
Yeah.
on something, but it's okay, it will happen. Wait. If not, just be ready to accept it. So acceptance again we need to. So because this is a biggest thing which when we work with the clients, this we need this is the major thing where we need to clear them so that they come out of that current scripting as we mentioned. So sir, you had mentioned that you had done your UG in religion, philosophy, and social work. So when we talk about religion, uh, what is your thought about things like karma, your birth? Have you ever, as a psychologist,
Yeah.
what is your opinion on that? Can you just show some light?
Ma'am, if you take sociology, anthropology, the perspective is religion was created as a way to structure the society. So, if people are going to do whatever they want like animals, then we'll all be having a lot of conflicts, and probably we'll all be dead with the weapons that we have. So, to bring some peace in the society, they came up with some concepts like God, religion, and all. But later it becomes a problem I'm seeing. So when people believe that this law of karma will punish me, okay, so when it will punish, maybe in this birth or in the next birth, or that will affect my children. There are different belief systems people have, and then they don't enjoy their life. Okay, yeah, there is a possibility for these things to happen. We don't know what is happening metaphysically. After we are dead, what is happening? People do not know. Nobody has come back and told us. So if you believe in this judgment day, I'll be rewarded in the heaven or I'll be sent to hell, things like that. It is creating hell right now in the current life itself.
Yes.
Okay, so I understand. You can get into the paradigm of what is right and wrong, and whatever is right according to you, you will do it. But when you do something wrong according to your conscience, it pricks you so much, and it does not make you to do things better. See, if you have done a mistake, yeah, you can apologize, you can compensate, and you make sure that you don't do the mistake again. But when you believe that I have done a mistake and I know I'm going to get the consequences sooner or later, then you are not even ready to compensate or correct that mistake, because you get into the distress, and then you are overwhelmed by that. Okay, so what is right and wrong? It is based on the consequences, we say. So again, in philosophy, there is a school of thought in ethics that says teleology. Teleos means consequences in Greek.
Okay.
So what is right and wrong? It is based on the consequence. So killing is wrong or right? It is based on the consequence. If you are going to kill someone to protect the country, you will be given Paramveer Chakra. If you are going to kill your own neighbor for petty things, then you will be sent to jail. Okay, so this legal system is also working on the teleology. So they are going to look at the consequence of it, why you did it, how you did it. Based on that, they decide whether it is right or wrong. So judges, they themselves are getting confused. So what is right in the sessions court becomes wrong in the high court, again becomes right in Supreme Court. It is based on the perception also. So I want people to look into the consequences. If it is really going wrong, let us try to correct it. Let us try to compensate that mistake, and then let us try to live our life. What is going to happen after our death, we do not know. Okay, so who knows? There may be some heaven or hell, but right now, rationally speaking, we don't have evidence for saying that whether it is existing or not existing. So let us not talk about that. Let us talk about our current life, and let us try to live our life fully. And if there are some mistakes, we'll try to correct it.
Brilliant, brilliant. So rightly said, rightly said. So it's about the consequence. Nothing is right and wrong. You can again coming back to the black and white thinking. So we cannot judge a criminal also because we do not know what was the situation, and we just cannot ignore anyone. Same applies to us also. Something might feel so bad to us, but might be other person's perspective is different. So that is very great and rationally talking, because no, a lot of people need this no rational explanation or logical way of thinking their thoughts, because neither everyone is able to think rationally, or nor everyone is able to think in a religious way. So we need logics to everything now, and this really helps. Sir, if people have to reach you, what kind of services does CCS Academy provide, and how can they reach you? If you can just no mention your website and details.
Sure, ma'am. So we provide counseling services. We have a team of counselors. I'm also doing counseling. Other than that, we conduct some courses on counseling who want to become professional counselors.
Okay.
So if they want to, take our course, or if they want to take our counseling services, they can visit our website, counselingchennai.com.
Okay.
Or you can Google search for Karthik Lakshmanan or CCS Academy. You'll get our website, and there will be all the details. We are very transparent. We want people to look into the website and then take our services. And there is an enquiry phone number. My secretary will pick up the call, and she'll respond to the WhatsApp messages. So on our website itself, WhatsApp message option is given. So you can simply go and you can talk to my secretary, and she'll give some clarification. So you can simply look into our website, counselingchennai.com, and you can take our services.
So, what all kind of people can approach you? I mean, any kind of age or students or
Anybody above 12 years, they can come to us for counseling. If they're able to vocalize their thought, feeling, and behavior, that is very important. Children below 11, 12 years, they may find it difficult. And if they are coming voluntarily, then only counseling can be given. So, for your family member or friends, if you think it will be very useful, do not take appointment. So, ask them to look into our website. And if they want to take appointment, let them take appointment for counseling sessions. Related to our courses, anybody above 18 years, they can join our diploma or PG diploma courses. And we also provide some webinars, workshops, short-term programs. So if they want to get the information, they can inform the secretary, and our secretary will add them into a broadcast list in the WhatsApp. Then they'll be getting information, and whenever people want to join, they can join looking at their own availability.
Okay. So do you also allow opportunity to work with you, sir? Since you said
so people whoever want to see things practically, like internship and all, we tell them to join the program only, because clients don't give consent to observe their counseling session. So it is highly a private matter, they believe. We do a lot of counseling sessions in the training itself. You will be able to see things very, very practically. So that way, whoever is asking for internship to work with me, I tell them to join the training program where I'll be doing counseling, they'll be observing, and they'll do counseling under my supervision. So that's how it works. So yeah, they can join our training itself. That will help them to get the practical exposure like internship.
Great, great, great. So great connecting with you, sir. And no, you actually explain psychologies in such a simple language, and that is what we love, and all your students love about that. So definitely, you all always have already completed 50 batches of diploma and advanced diploma students. So congratulations for that. So I will add the sir's social media links in the below, and also the website and details. Anyone who wants to contact Mr. Karthik Lakshmanan for the counseling or courses, definitely you are free to connect him, and you are welcome. So thanks a lot for being with us as a guest, and we will these insights will definitely help people who are all listening to this talk. Thanks a lot, sir.
Welcome, ma'am. Thank you so much for the opportunity.